You're listening to The Monetized Mom, the podcast that teaches moms of faith how to monetize their expertise online to create influence, impact, income, and more importantly, financial independence. I'm your host, Flo Alexander. Let's chat. Hey mama, if you are tuned into this episode, you're probably looking to grow your coaching business. Well, you are in luck. I just released a new training on how to launch a high-ticket program that clients will pay thousands for, even if you don't have your program created. Now, you can access it now at themonetizedmom.com/training. That's themonetizedmom.com/training. Again, that's themonetizedmom.com/training. Now, let's get on with the show. In today's crowded coaching market of coaching, I'll say it like that. How can you launch a successful coaching program, one where your clients get results and you get well compensated for the value that you provide? So from my experience, there are 4 things that you must have as a coach in order for this to be the case. And that's what we're going to talk about today. When it comes to launching your program, I think it really boils down to these things. So you might want to write this down. Off top, the first thing that you have to have and that you need to have is actual competency. I am struggling with that word today. Competency. You need to be competent in what it is that you're actually coaching. So at a minimum, you need to have experience with the thing that your program is claiming to help solve. So either you have gone through this experience or you have helped other people. And I would imagine if you've helped other people, you've probably helped yourself. But at a minimum, you have to be competent in the subject matter. Now, let me just say this. It should go without saying, that should go without saying that you need to be competent. However, I think it has to be said in this day and age because I see it way too much. So the question is, what results have you been able to get for other people using the framework that you are teaching in your program? What are the results that other people have gotten? Or if you have not had clients yet, what results have you been able to get using the framework and methodology and system that you are going to teach your clients? And the other thing when it comes to competency, are you actually committed to learning more so that you're able to provide more value to the people who are interested in working with you? So are you doing continuous education, right? Are you continually improving and sharpening and doing your own personal development? So you have to be competent at a minimum, right? And not only that, you have to be able to articulate how your program packages up that information that you have into something that can be provide a transformation for other people. So here's the thing. Competency is evidenced by receipts. So I mentioned earlier that when you're competent, right, you've either gone through the process yourself or you've helped people through the process and to get a transformation. That means you have receipts. So if you have receipts, then that's an indication that you are competent in whatever your subject matter is that you're helping people with. So competency is evidenced by receipts. And at the end of the day, the proof is in the results that you're able to get for other people or that you've been able to get for yourself that you can translate into something that's applicable to someone else in that same situation. So if you haven't gotten clients, then you need to be your first case study, right? You need to be your first testimonial. So first things first, if you want to launch a program that's successful, that gets clients results and allows you to be well compensated, you got to be competent. Again, it should go without saying, but I just got to say it because I see it a whole lot. Okay. All right. The second thing that you need to have is consistency. And this is the stumbling block for a lot of the saints out here in the coaching industry, right? I think the thing that will hurt you the most as a coach is a lack of consistency. Are you consistently showing up in front of your audience in some way such that they can trust you and that you're always top of mind? So I cannot tell you how many businesses that I have not referred or that I have not recommended or allowed on my platform just because of their lack of consistency. They probably have a great product, but they're inconsistent. And so when you're inconsistent, people don't trust you. Like that comes across as you being a fly by night. So you need to have consistency. As a matter of fact, there is one brand I aspire to be just like them. I purchased from them not too long ago. And when I tell you, when them people got my phone number, they were like, text her every single day. That is the level of consistency that I aspire to have. Because here's the thing, even though I do not purchase from them, I'm not an impulsive buyer. So even though I'm not probably checking the text messages. I'm not clicking on the links. I'm not doing whatever it is. I know that when I am ready to buy, I can just scroll through my text messages and find one of their links or find one of their discount codes to apply. But had they not been consistent, I would not have been able to do that. Like they would not have been top of mind, but they are consistently every single day in my text message thread, right? My text message inbox, so to speak. So how consistent are you? Can people trust you to show up? Because if they can trust you to show up, they can trust you with their money in most cases. If you ain't, let's go back, refer back to point one, competent, right? But are you consistent? Can people trust you? That is a sign of you actually caring about your business. When you are consistent, it shows that you care about your business and that also you care about the people that you serve. Now, being consistent, right, is a way of showing that you care for your business and you also care for the audience that you serve, right? Now, I would say in the case of Fashion Nova and the other brand, I won't name names because I ain't trying to put them on, but the other brand that texts me every day, like it may not necessarily be that they care about me as much as they care about getting those coins. So they're going to show up and be consistent. So you have to, I would say honestly, if you model e-commerce businesses, you should model e-commerce businesses or at least learn something from them and their ability to market, their ability to have messaging, connect with people, and also just be consistent. But I know a lot of people struggle with consistency. And I think the key to being consistent is first having a strategy. If you don't have a strategy, then you have no plan for when you show up. And when you don't have a plan and when you feel like you're all over the place and when you feel like you don't know what you're doing, it's very hard to be consistent. So first things first, you actually need a clear strategy so that when you are showing up online, when you're showing up posting every day, or if you're showing up going on live, if you're showing up sending out emails to your list every day, right? You have an actual strategy that you're working towards. So it makes consistency a lot more easy. Now, the other thing when it comes to being consistent is just the simple and sheer fact that you have to prioritize this as a part of your daily habits. So if your business is something that you want to be successful, if your coaching program is something that you want to be successful, right? If you want to have something that launches well, if you want to have something that gets results, you have to think of this as a part of your life. It's not something that's detached from you, right? So you have to be consistent, and that means you have to prioritize that as a part of your day-to-day life. So for instance, I'll give you case in point. People, I will say, this is not a flex, this is not boasting or anything. People often compliment me on my consistency. If you are on my Instagram and if the algorithm is working in my favor, you will see that I post every single day, if not twice a day. Sometimes I could get a little, I can get a little fancy and post more than that. If you're on my email list, you know that I email every single day. Consistency. How am I able to do that? Because this is a part of my daily habits. This is a part of the things that I have ingrained into the things that I do in order to be successful. I got a morning routine, and then I got a routine for things that I do for my business. You're going to catch me filming a reel probably twice a week, right? Consistently is a part of my schedule. I write it down. I prioritize it, right? That's how you become consistent. One, because you care about your business, you care about the people that you serve, but then you also prioritize it as a part of your day-to-day activities and your day-to-day habits. So if you haven't done that already, if you don't have a schedule, if you don't have a planner, if you don't have some kind of thing that guides the way you navigate throughout your day so that you can be effective and use your time effectively, I highly suggest and recommend that you do that. All right. So consistency, again, comes from having a clear strategy and prioritizing your business as a part of your daily tasks and your daily habits. Consistency is key. Again, there are plenty of people who do great and amazing things, but I could never refer them because they don't show up consistently. Because if I sent someone to their Instagram page, it's going to be like last post 2021, right? Or like last post 2020. And if that's you, go post something today. Anything, just say, hey, I'm here, I'm still alive, right? But that consistency is important for people to trust you because they don't want to feel like you're a fly by night. And if they can't trust you to show up consistently in the small things, why would they trust you to show up consistently when they are paying you four figures? Somebody laughing, so I know that I'm talking to you. Haven't posted since 2021. All right. So I talk about having competency, right? So that's bare minimum. I remember when I was in corporate, one of the first things, there was this little acronym, PI acronym, for like this ideal employee, right? Performance, I don't remember the rest because it don't matter. I ain't in corporate no more. But performance was the bare minimum, right? For you to be a successful employee. Same thing here. Competence is the baseline for having the ability to launch a successful program. You have to have competence, and the sure sign of competence is actually having receipts from you being able to help other people. And if you haven't coached anybody yet, your own transformation, right? You're being your own testimonial, then being consistent. And I think the other thing that's very important, the third thing, is having conviction. Having conviction. Now, I'm not talking about just being loud about something, right? At its core, having a conviction is really just having an opinion about something or a perspective on a matter. So having an independent, I think I need to know that, an independent opinion and perspective about a matter and sticking to it. So a lot of times coaches or entrepreneurs, we can name whatever, right, get lost in the fray and in the sea of other people within their industry because they don't have a conviction. They sound like everybody else. So if you want to be seen, one, and have visibility, but two, be effective as a coach and have an effective program, right, to be able to launch a successful and effective program or business, you have to have a conviction about something. You need to have an independent thought and perspective about a subject matter. So the key point, though, is once you have that conviction, you need to be able to articulate that in your messaging so that people who agree and resonate with that are attracted to you and to your program or whatever your offer is. So for me, my conviction is that moms should be able to spend time with family. They should be able to travel, and they should have time for self-care without having to ask for PTO, right? And to not be tied to a corporate career. That is my conviction, right? My conviction is also that as a coach, you don't need to do webinars, you don't need to do challenges, and you don't need to do endless launches in order to sell your high ticket program and make a significant amount of revenue. Those are my convictions. Those come from my own personal experience. So that means I'm not copying anybody else, right? I'm saying what I've had from my own personal experience. That is my conviction. So when you see my messaging, when you see my content, I'm going to speak to that conviction. So the question is, what is your conviction? What is that independent thought or independent perspective that you have around the niche, around the subject matter, the area that you're in, that separates you and differentiates you from everyone else? Otherwise, you're just going to sound like a parrot and you're going to be just repeating what everyone else has said. So you have to have your own conviction. Have your own conviction, right? The last thing is probably controversial, but what did I just say? I have my own convictions. So the last thing that you need is capital. You need capital. With all of those things, I think it would be a disservice for me to come on here and say, you don't need to have money in order to launch or build and grow a successful coaching program and business. Today, if you want to launch a coaching program, my conviction is that you need ads. And y'all, let me just share this. I thought this was hilarious. So ads is something that I teach within my coaching program because I found that there is a need. And I've been playing with ads since I don't even know when, spent thousands of dollars. But nonetheless, there are some coaches who have their conviction that you don't need ads in order to be able to launch your coaching program. But the irony of it all is that they are running ads. Anyway, that's a sidebar. But my conviction is that you need to have capital. Is it possible to launch a successful coaching program without ads? Yes, I've gotten clients in the DMs. It's possible, but it's not sustainable. And if you want to rely on the algorithm, good luck with that. All right. You're fighting a losing battle. So with that said, you definitely need to have capital. So in addition to all of those intangibles, right, or all those other things that we just discussed, you need to have capital in this day and age. And I would have been doing you a disservice to say, yeah, all you got to do is have conviction, get on here and be consistent. And then you got to be competent. And then that's all you need. No, boo. If you want people to see you for all of those things that you have done, all of those other things, you actually need to have capital and not just ads, right? Like you need to have capital to be able to fund the vision that you have for your business as well. So like I said, to do that, you got to have capital. Don't be intimidated, guys, because it's not anything that you have to spend a mortgage on. You can start with a little bit. So those are the 4 things that I think you need to launch a successful coaching program if you are in the high ticket coaching space, right? First of all, competency, that's the bare minimum. We all need to be competent in whatever we're talking about. Then there needs to be consistency. I think this is probably one that I harped on the most because people lack consistency, y'all. And consistency is killing a lot of people's businesses, or lack of consistency is killing a lot of people's businesses. I share this story because I think it's so important to the tune of being consistent. My very first coaching client back in like 2017, she had been following me for a year. Don't even know how she found me. Didn't even know we were like, didn't even know how she found me, that she was even following me. She followed me for a year before I had the opportunity for her to work with me. And she was like, I followed you for a year just to see if you were consistent and if you were the same person throughout that whole time. Because she said people be out here not consistent and they aren't true. They don't have integrity. They aren't themselves in all situations. So to that point, be consistent. Consistency is one of those things, one of those seeds that you sow that takes a little bit longer to grow, but will pay off dividends in the future. So be consistent. So if anything that you got from this today, I would say just be consistent, right? And then you got to have a conviction. So what is your unique perspective or unique independent opinion about the area that you are serving in? So what is your unique perspective and your unique opinion? I told y'all mine is I don't think that moms have to work in corporate too, and that they should have time for their family, travel, and self-care. And that as a coach, you don't have to be doing endless launches, webinars, or challenges in order to sell your high ticket coaching program. Those are my convictions. Those are things that you need to be able to articulate in your messaging, right? So that the people who agree with those convictions are able to be attracted to you. And then last but not least, you got to have capital. That's just the name of the game these days. Y'all can sit here and play with Zuckerberg if y'all want to in this algorithm, but you will get lost in the sea. So I would definitely say you need to have capital if you want to be able to launch a successful coaching program in this day and age. As always, I hope that you found this episode helpful. If you did, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a review. And with that, I'll talk to you in the next episode.